Hello. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Jonna, and welcome to Conversations with Grace, where we give relationship advice to women to help guide them in the best path that is for them concerning the questions that they have given us. So let's get started. Let's get started with the first question. How do you trust fully? How do you trust fully? Well, trusting is something that we have to do day to day, and we start trusting ourselves. We have to first trust ourselves before we can really trust anybody else. I remember when I want to say, it was before I actually got saved. And I realized that I could not trust myself with certain things. And I'm just going to be I'm going to be kind of open right here, okay? When it came to men, right? I could not trust myself around certain men. I could not trust myself. I'm not going to go into too many details, but I could not trust myself. So sometimes, without getting too deep, I wouldn't shave. So if I did not shave, then I knew that I was not going to end up in a situation that I probably would regret later down the road. So what does that mean? I put boundaries in place. Because I did not fully trust myself, and that was probably about 10 years ago, because I did not fully trust myself, I had to put boundaries in place for me. And then as I began to trust myself, I didn't have to have those boundaries. And that's just one example. So a lot of times when you cannot trust other people, it's because you really cannot trust you, right? Let's say if you have a bad habit with smoking cigarettes and you're trying to stop doing that, right? What do you want to make sure you don't have in your possession? Cigarettes, because guess what? If you do have it, you won't trust yourself to be disciplined enough to not smoke that cigarette. So I'm not sure what exactly or the specific situation you're talking about, but many times when we do not trust other people, it's because we do not trust ourselves fully. So when you begin to work on trusting yourself, you need to start with putting certain boundaries in place until you become strong enough to where you don't need those certain boundaries in order to excel with trusting yourself. I hope that makes sense. Um, let's get to the next question. Okay, is it normal for my fiance to jokingly flirt with other women in front of me? Is it normal for him to jokingly flirt with other women in front of you? I don't know if that's normal for you. But do you know what you're going to accept? Some people in their relationships, they jokingly flirt. Some people have open relationships. Some people do not believe in monogamy, right? So I don't know what is normal for you. For me, does my husband jokingly flirt? He doesn't flirt with any women. To me, that's disrespectful. We make other jokes, so we know what we're going to be laughing about and joking about in our relationship. I don't know what you and your fiance is going to be joking and laughing about. If you do not accept that type of behavior, then you need to let him know that. If he doesn't agree, then you can, make that decision of what you want to do as it concerns moving forward with him. Let's see. How to make marriage work and not just exist. Because I'm married, I definitely understand what you mean. I'm not sure what level that you are on in your journey of marriage, but many times when you go back to the things that you once did before you got married. So if you were dating a lot, if you played games together, um, if you talked a lot, like one thing my husband used to always ask me before we got married is I don't know if it was a question, but maybe more of a statement. He would say, I want to know you. I want to know more about you. Tell me something about you. So he was very interested in getting to know me more. Um, and many times when we become married or in our marriage, we're changing as we go, right? And our partner stops asking us that question. They think they know us. But the truth is, if we're continuing to evolve every single day, then there is more that you can find out about me. So if your partner asks you questions about you, like, hey, I want to know you, you know, maybe he should begin to ask that again, or you can ask him about himself, get to know him more. If you have, fallen off and your marriage is stale, it might be because you don't really know your spouse as much as you knew him before. If you marry him at 24, I guarantee you he's not going to be the same person, or he should not be the same person that he was when he turns 34. There's always things that you can get to know about your spouse. If you're not going on dates anymore, begin to go on dates. Start dressing up. Make sure your hair is done. Make sure your nails are done. Make sure you still smelling fresh. If he's depressed, even after, if, like, I don't know if he's depressed, but maybe if he's still not focused on you after you're doing all that, maybe he might be depressed or she might be depressed. I'm not sure. But a lot of times you might want to ask your spouse, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's on your mind? So you can really know what's going on with them. I don't know about you, but I'm very open with my feelings. My spouse sometimes is not. So I have to ask him, what are you feeling? How was your day? What are you thinking about? To try to get those answers so I can really know what state of mind he's in. Because if your marriage needs to be spiced up, it might be because your spouse might be going through a silent depression. Now, if that isn't the case, like I said, make sure you make up yourself, your hair, your nails. Make sure you're looking good. Make sure you're smelling fresh, so that he might be interested in knowing this new you, or this refreshed or restored or renewed person. And then you all can start dating again. So you really want to make sure you continue dating and make time for the romantic side of your marriage. And if you're not doing that, that's where you want to start off, or one of the places you want to start off. Okay. How do you get out of a bad marriage? You exit. I'm not sure what your situation is. One thing I like to tell women is, if you're going to leave a marriage or a bad situation, make sure you have money first. That doesn't mean you have to get the money from him. He may not be allowing you access to finances, but start your own business, whether it be selling products or selling services. Do a GoFundMe campaign. A GoFundMe campaign, maybe helping women get out of a domestic violence situation. Who is the woman you helping? You, right? So get money first. Make sure you are financially stable, or have enough money first. I don't know if you have children, because you definitely need to put that into perspective. If you have children and you have no money, go to a domestic violence shelter. Let them help you. Make sure you get all the government assistance that you need. So the first thing is, make sure you have your finances in order. Second thing is, file a divorce. If he refuses to, if you don't have children involved and he refuses to sign the papers, do a no contest. I think that's what's called, a no contest divorce, and you'll be divorced faster than you got married. But just leave. Get some support. Get somebody who you will allow to be your accountability partner. I'm not sure if you're in a toxic relationship, marriage, and it's hard for you to leave, but get somebody who can tell you the truth and help pull you out of the mud, so you can get out of that situation and continue to thrive in your life. Let's see what the next question is. The last one for today is, how to communicate your expectations in relationships so I am on the same page as my dates. So how do I communicate my expectations in relationships so that I'm on the same page as my dates? So I'm not sure where you're meeting your dates at, but I saw this before and it's coming back to mind. But when you if it's online dating, remember there's a bio and there's a profile section. of where the people who are interested in you, they can read it. In that bio section, you need to list out what it is or what your intentions for being on this dating site, what they are. So if you want to if you want to just be casual with people, make sure you put that you want to be casual. If you're looking for a relationship, if you're looking for marriage, make sure you state all those things in the beginning. When you first go out with somebody, hey, how are you? Well, you should know their name before they go out. But and I believe you also should know their age. But the questions you begin to ask, so what are you looking for in a relationship? Are you looking for a relationship, or are you just what are you doing in the dating world right now? Or why are you single? You can ask them that. Why are you single? And then they'll begin to answer that question. I'm trying to say I haven't found the right one, or they can say, well, I'm just healing from a past relationship, or they can just say, I'm not interested in dating right now. So those questions are the first questions you want to ask because you don't want to waste anybody's time and you don't want anybody to waste your time. So you just be very direct and bold and say, hey, why are you single? Hey, what are your expectations for dating or your intentions for dating? What is your purpose for dating right now? You just be bold with it and just, be upfront, direct, and just say what it is that you mean to mean what it is that you say. And that is all for the questions that we have today concerning what you all have asked. And it's a lot. So I want to make sure that I touch over a few of the other answers to the question of how did your parents harm you when you were younger? Um, so let me this was interesting. Let me exit this one out of that one and put that right here. And one person said something that was very interesting to me. She said nagging. Her parents harmed her by nagging her. That's very interesting that like her parents really, really, really got on her nerves. So I haven't seen that one, and I know that our parents have gotten on our nerves, but I didn't know that they got on somebody's nerves so bad that it caused them like to have harm where they remembered as an adult. That's interesting to me. And I would definitely like to know more about that story. Um, One person said emotional scarring. When it comes to these parental questions, it's something that people do not want to open up about because it's very, very, very touchy. But the people who do, they don't always go into tremendous detail. So when you say emotional scarring, I'm pretty sure all of us have a little bit of emotional scarring, but I would like to know what exactly happened that emotionally scarred you. And my dad, he caused me harm. He did. He's no longer with us, and I forgive him. My dad has been gone since 2010, and it's now 2022, and it's been 12 years. My dad, to me, one thing that I remember very, very vividly, he was physically abusive. He was controlling and all of that. And I don't know how old I was, and I don't know what I did to him. I didn't do anything to him. He was just angry that day. I didn't do anything to him for him to. He hit me on my arm, and I remember he hit me on my head. Um, the reason he spazzed out like that, it wasn't. I didn't do nothing, but I remember the bruise. It was so purple. It was big. It was so purple right there, and it hurt so bad that it looked like it was about to bleed. It was a purple bruise, and it was so big on my arm, I remember. And he just hit me with his hand. He hit me so hard. He hit me so hard on my head that I couldn't walk straight. And I I'm trying to think. I was not more than 15 because my dad passed away when I was 15 before I turned 16. So it was probably I think when I was in middle school to my early high school. So I'm not sure exactly. So between 12 and I want to say 14, between 12 and 15. That's when it happened. But that is a way that he harmed me. And I remember that forever. And I just, it was so hard for me to, I was so hurt because I didn't like, why did you hit me like that? It hurt so bad on my head, so that messed up my spine, and on my arm, and that messed up my skin. And I didn't really understand why he hit me like that. But something was wrong with my dad. And I'm saying that openly. Something was wrong with him to hit a woman like that. I'm a female, I'm his daughter, but I'm still I'm still a female, I'm still a lady, and I don't believe you should be hitting women like that, especially if you're a grown man. But like I said, I don't have any issue with him. My heart has forgiven my dad for what he has done. He's no longer here. Um, but one other person said that she said, my dad cheated for years, and I'm kind of messed up in the head because of it. So, yeah, I'm sure you are, because you probably saw your mom go through so much pain. Um, and you didn't really understand why was he causing her harm like that. So causing her harm ended up causing you harm, and um it probably influences a way that you deal with if you're anyway, it probably influences the way that you act or respond in your relationships right now. So anyway, I thank you all so much for being open with me. Let me see our time. Ooh. I thank you so much for being open with me and allowing me to be open with you as well. We are all growing, and we're all trying to heal from the past hurts so that we can go and thrive in our future. The only way we're going to thrive in our future is by the testimony, telling people what we have gone through. We were healed by the blood and the word of our testimony.